Let's talk about this time of year and why the veil is said to be thin. So, as everybody knows, we have Halloween coming up at the end of the month, and most people that are paganistically, ooh, is that a word, inclined, call it Samhain. And if you pronounce it Samhain, then, yeah, you got some homework to do. So, this time of year, in the northern hemisphere anyway, the climate is getting colder and we are spending more time indoors. The dark of the night is coming sooner with the change of the Earth's rotation, if you believe in a heliocentric model. Things start to die this time of year too with fall. I wonder why they call it fall. In America, we call it fall because leaf fall down. Yeah. Things like trees, you get the leaves, mushrooms, and other plant life too. This gives perspective of the life cycle and transition from life to death. This could be the reason why behind why cultures saw this time as having a thin veil between life and death because death was so prevalent around us, right? And a lot of things in nature around us make the transition from life to death or from being outside to being inside. You have animals that hibernate. You have certain animals that you don't even see this time of year. Like this time of year, all the mosquitoes start to die, thankfully, and all the nasty bugs go exactly where they belong. All right, getting off of my soapbox. So, this time of year activities are more indoor oriented than they are in the summer. This means going indoors and going inside yourself, spending more time by yourself because there's a lot less activities and things this time of year. This is more of the harvest where you look back at the summer and you're like, look at all this cool stuff that I did. It's much more introspective, it's much more inside given the fact that it's darker and colder outside. There's much less people outside, so there's much less ambient noise. And if you watch my video on the witching hour, the less ambient noise, the quieter it is, the quieter your mind can get, and the more easily you can get into that receptive state that bypasses your filter in your mind to dive deeper into the subconscious, which is where we have magic and where we get magic from because that's how we access our antenna that accesses everything else. You guys following? Let me know in the comments. So, yeah, this time of year we reflect on things and think more inwardly than outer distractions. This means going inside mentally and spending more time in inner thought. Given that the mind is a gateway and we are the antenna for spiritual experiences, the lessening of our outer distractions allows us to have more open minds for transformation, and use of things like tarot cards, Ouija boards, pendulums, and other divinatory methods are suggested this time of year. Mainly because our antennas are more active. Think about it. We're kind of looking back in the past, and we're looking forward to the future when it gets warm again. Although some people like me love it when it's this cold. So it's easier to invoke and work with spirits this time of year as well, as the lower amount of activity outdoors can lead to more ambient silence and less distracting noises, allowing for easier focus during rituals. The fact that it gets darker out sooner means most people with like the circadian rhythm and stuff, you get melatonin easier or sooner. You can fall asleep. You can wake up at that witching hour and get more stuff done, right? Um, and the use of fires to keep warm, which is what we did during this time of year. We would have celebratory bonfires, mainly it was kind of a Celtic tradition to have celebratory bonfires during this time of year around Samhain and other cultures and stuff around this time of year, not only to stay warm, but also in celebration, with the harvest and all that. So, where was I? Yep. Use of fires to keep warm can also allegorically mean destruction and burning away of things that are no longer serving us, right? There's a lot of things with like fire ceremonies. Fire is a very transformational thing. That's why the fire god, for example, Gibeal, his invocation is like burn the evil and the evildoer, burn the sorcerer and the sorceress, singe them, burn them, destroy them, consume their powers, carry them away. Da 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 da. Memorize most of it. Not the Akkadian translation, but I do have a video for that if you check out my Necronomicon playlist. So, therefore, this time of year, it's the time of year to harvest the good and burn the bad, so to speak. Halloween and Samhain, they comes at the end of the month, which start off as a Celtic festival of the dead. given that the veil is thin, people thought they needed to disguise themselves as ghosts because you had ghosts walking among you, and if you looked like them, you were much less likely to have them pay attention to you, kind of confuse them, right? That's where costumes come from in the modern day translations of the tradition, which now it's just been like commercialized and all that. That's why you have, Spirit of Halloween stores, and you have all the candy and everything. Although candy ain't all that bad, but everything in moderation, right? Yeah. So in Ireland, this time of year was thought of as being opportunistic for spirits and fairies to cross between our world and theirs. So not only that, but you also have like the twilight hour, where your vision can kind of get a little messy with things because your eyes are adjusting between the light and the dark. So that could also attribute to why it's thought of as this being a time of year where it's much more opportunistic to see spirits. Now, if you want to go into a whole in-depth thing with the history of Halloween and Samhain, there's plenty of other resources out there, and I was not going to regurgitate a whole bunch of that, but just kind of giving my perspective this year on why you get all the hoopla about the veil is thin, and this time of year certain things can happen and certain things can be done. And also, my psychomagical lean on it. So let me know what you guys think about this. Drop it in the comments. Share on my Facebook Magickology YT Facebook group, and even by email if you like. Check out any of my other videos and look at the title card for on the end of this video on how to contact me and join my social media stuff. Good hunting. Thanks for watching my video. So if you want to check out my playlists, I have, among others, the Simon Necronomicon, the Tree of Life, General Magic, Tulpamancy, a playlist on my books, the elements, stones, the theories that govern magic, and the gods and goddesses of Mesopotamia. If you want to check out my books on Amazon, I have Creating Consciousness, Magical Mechanics, Magical Theater, Handy Sigil Magic, Magical Movement, which is an update and expansion upon Handy Sigil Magic, Magical Mastery, which is a combination masterwork of Magical Theater and Magical Mechanics, and The Guide to the Spheres and Beyond. You can also find me on Facebook at Magickology YT. You can email me at priestofthenecro@gmail.com, and you can even check out my Instagram, which is Magickology. And good hunting.